Stays crunchy. Stays crunchy. Milk.
Something recently figured out is that right after the video stops playing, there's a small pause. Dan can't hear a word I'm saying. What if I called him something fucked up during that period of time? That's wrong. But
you're telling me I have to go watch the fucking playback recording on Spotify to figure out if you're talking shit about me?
I mean, if I managed to talk a whole lot of shit about you in probably 3 seconds. First of all,
for all I know, you've been doing it for months. And there's like this whole fucking paradigm out there on me that I'm unaware of.
That'd be real fucked up. Ooh, you know what? Let's push
people just tune in to hear you talk shit about me for 3 seconds.
Like that motherfucker said some crazy shit.
Like, I can't believe he says this shit, and that dude still does his podcast with
him. Damn, man. Oh my gosh. But we live, people. We outside. We doing the damn thing, man. Happy Juneteenth to you, to us, this nation, and so forth. You know what I'm saying? I know it's wild that it's dope that we got this one before we got who we got in office, because he wouldn't have gave us Juneteenth. We know it. Worth the fucking Joe Byron. And for hooking us up with this one, because I love an extra day off, and an extra day off specifically for black folks. I mean, yeah, everybody gets it. Clearly, my man Box is off, but it's a black people holiday. It's a holiday celebrating black people in this nation. So,
dude, I remember the first one we had a couple years ago.
Yeah, because they literally just was like, "All right, you got that day off," and like
that wasn't kind of the way that it was like presented to us at work, because like it did kind of like crop up out of the blue. Mm-hmm. But then like the way that like it was kind of presented to the class almost made it seem like they were like, if you're black and you want it off early, you can all leave. But if you're not black, you want to hang around and work to help cover the people that are leaving until we get this all sorted out next year where it's on the calendar. That was the way it felt. Like if you were white, you could hang back, but if you're black, we'll see you tomorrow.
Man, your part of the company is wild for that.
They didn't say it, but like that
it was
the
an
way
that you felt.
That's the way it felt.
Yeah.
I was like, I love my brethren, but I'm out too.
Yeah, it's all good. Like, I'm gonna go celebrate with them. My intention is to, of course, there are some things that you're not supposed to do, but things you can do to celebrate Juneteenth, and that is red beverages. I know that seems weird, but of course, drinking red beverages is a representative of, saying the blood we shed is when we were enslaved people. So I'm like, definitely gonna get on that, and you know what I'm saying. And I'm actually
does it have to be Kool-Aid, or is that racist?
I'm making Kool-Aid. It is
like, because like Body of Christ is usually like wine or like juicy juice,
Oddly enough, in groceries came today, Vanessa has 2 bottles of red wine over there. Your boy can get on some red wine if I was so inclined. She's going to mix it with some Diet Coke. I guess I can mix it with regular Coke and make a Calimacho, which is a Spanish cocktail, which is mixing red wine and Coca-Cola. But
red wine.
But I also want to try my hand at tea cakes. My mom used to make those when I was little, and I should actually hit her up and see. In fact, I should hit her up in general, tell her Happy Juneteenth, but also ask her, does she recall from memory her recipe for tea cakes, which are basically, if you think about it, if you even just were to whip them up, biscuity sugar cookies, sugar cookery biscuits. It's like a very specific kind of little cakey situation. And she used to make them when we were younger, and I was like, yeah, tea cakes was kind of dope. And it's probably an easy recipe. And I looked up one earlier, and let's see if I still have it on my page. Where'd you go? Authentic Southern tea cakes. And this recipe is like butter, sugar, eggs, vanilla, baking powder, salt, and flour. And then you can make a glaze with powdered sugar, milk, and some more vanilla. But in this case, she wants this lady or person, I don't know what their gender is they say vanilla beans, but I'll try to just use some vanilla. So like I said, really simple recipe, but I want to make that here later. And like I said, just do a little something to celebrate and think fondly on ancestors who were pressed and put upon to make this nation what it is. So I that is my intention. So that's what I hoped and planned to do. But right now we just bullshit, we kicking it. It's gonna be a great day. Oh yeah, I gotta show you these. You, the listener, might have these in your area under a different brand name. Giant Eagle Market District. Can I get in there? Yeah, a little tight.
Yeah, I can see it.
Skylar Ray's. That one for you. I mean, yes, you can see it. Skylar Ray cherries, premium Skylar Ray cherries. I was at the grocery store yesterday, and I go in the fruit aisle just because I'm like, let me see what's popping in the fruit aisle. I don't always go over there, but I just did. And I see this lady grab one of these boxes of these, open it up, take one out, eat that bitch, and it was just like, put the box in her cart, and I was like, well, that bitch think they good, they must be good. So I snagged it. Let's see. Hold on, let me see if I can pull up a tea cake for you. In a tea cake. Oh, I think where well, I've already read the recipe, so now you know what's in a tea cake. But like I said, it's almost all just
Was that a Twitch icon?
Yeah, we stream on Twitch.
Oh.
We're on Twitch and YouTube at the same time. We could also,
okay, I do YouTube. I didn't know we were also on Twitch right now.
Yeah, but we could also stream to YouTube if I forced your hand on the matter, but I just don't care. So because you don't know who has control over that side of the business. So, but
can always change.
Sir, I will never be opening another YouTube account. I mean, a Twitch account. I mean, damn, 3 fucking Facebook account.
I can't believe you've been talking that shit in those 3 seconds about me on Twitch.
That's always about Facebook, always, consistently. But, shit, I done spun out of control. Wait, we're talking about tea cake.
Tea cake. I derailed you. That's my apologies.
So, like you said, if I want to put, well, here, you know what? I'll just show you guys my page, and then you guys can just see how many different options there are for tea cake. Oddly enough, screen, entire screen, share, boop, and so when I'm talking tea cakes, I'm really thinking more of this. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like, if you look at that, that's more of a sugar cookie, kind of in this vein over here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this feels like the Christmas cookies you get in the tins.
Yeah, kind of in that vein, but I find those they have a much drier bite. And tea cake Southern. Let's look at Southern because let's see if that recipe I was looking at comes up.
It's funny. Like I was talking about teas with a couple of buddies at we're my friend's 40th birthday party a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
and I was talking to them about how I started brewing tea again at home, and then they were talking about like high-end tea shops and stuff. And my buddy's like, "Oh, would you want to do a high tea party?" And I just looked at him. I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" So I had to explain it and everything. And now we're like, I guess we're gonna maybe do a high tea party like in like August or something.
You want to do it at somebody's house? You want to do it at we have tea rooms around here if you want to go to a room and have somebody do it for us.
Well, that's news to me, but no, apparently like he's gonna like do it at his house.
Very cool. All right,
it's the fellow that you got the Switch 2 for.
I immediately knew as soon as you told me that, bro. Yeah. Which is why I so quickly was like, I can add myself to this this discussion. Over by Fairview, just at the end of the the bridge right there. It's Fairview, then it's a bridge that goes into Fairview.
Yeah, I was literally on it the other day.
Yeah, just there at the end of that bridge on the right side is a tea room. That if you were so inclined, you can go there and have yourself a nice little high tea. So fuck with it. Also, we have a tea shop here in town that sells loose teas. If you are interested in,
that's more what they were talking about, like going to like the loose tea shops, then you can do your own steeping at home. And
yeah. I have a very nice tea brewing pot, I guess is what we'll call it over here. It's glass and it has a plastic lid, but you can twist off the middle of the lid and it has a basket.
I have one of those too.
Yeah, you can just steep your tea in there. So that's for loose teas.
Yeah, I was doing that like all the time back before COVID.
Okay.
Because I used to brew the tea and then I would fill like a Yeti cooler kind of situation and bring it with me to work.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you was on unsweetened tea for way before it was cool.
When I first started trying to lose weight years ago, I stopped drinking pop and I switched to unsweetened tea. There was like a 3-week period where like my body was adjusting to the no sugar, and like it tasted gross for a while. But then once I adjusted, I love it now. Like it's hard for me when I go to a restaurant because like I want to get tea, but there's like 2 problems. One, it's usually like when you're there for dinner, you don't want to be consuming caffeine necessarily that late in the day.
Yeah.
And 2. Well, I guess there's maybe 3 problems. 2 is you don't know if it's like powdered tea or if it's brewed tea, because there's a difference. And then 3, the cost. Because a lot of places it's like water's free, but if you get a beverage, it could be $3, $4, $5 depending on where you're at.
Yeah, that's $5 for no tea bag. But you know what you can do, and a lot of old black women do it. Bring a tea bag in your purse.
Oh, dude, when my grandmother was still alive, she had a little bottle of instant coffee that she would carry around in her purse, and she just get hot water and make her own coffee at the table.
Absolutely.
Man, there's this place on East 4th that I went to before SummerSlam last summer.
Yeah.
And I forget the name of it. I'd have to look it up. But it's like if you're looking at Mabel's, it's like to the left of Mabel's.
Mm-hmm.
And we went there for lunch because they had open seating because it was busy when we, during that time of the day, like the Guardians were playing and like SummerSlam and everything. But they had sun brewed tea, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And so
do you not know sun brewed tea?
Well, no, but like I never saw it on a menu before, so I was like, I thought like it was some sort of fucking like tea gimmick or whatever. And she explained it, and I was like, all right, well, I'll try that. Like this. I don't understand the markup here. And yeah, you get it. And it tastes like tea. I'm like, I paid like $5 for this, and it's just tea that you put outside for a while. Like, where's the upside here?
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to get a street view of 4th so I can kind of see where this is located and get a street view, you sons of bitches. Oh, there.
I wanna say it was like, I think Cordelia's is the name of it.
I am aware of Cordelia's. Cordelia's is a big deal. They're doing they're currently doing a a collab with what restaurant is doing the Cordelia's collab? I forgot, but yeah, it's definitely Cordelia's. This is an old one because that still has this street view is old because
it was definitely Cordelia's.
Yeah. Because they still got Lola, and I don't think Lola's even open anymore. So, yeah, and they still say Sokolao, and we know they've been closed. So this is an old street view. This street view is out of date. You got to update your shit.
Oh yeah, Google Maps, man. Like if you look at the Google Street View of my house, it's from when the previous owner still had it, and it's been damn near 9 years now that I've lived there.
Oh, another tree in that yard at that point.
Yeah, there's like a boat in the backyard and shit. I clearly do not own a boat.
Would you want to own a boat?
No.
Are you just not a boat man, or just like you don't want to deal with boat shit?
And that's a lot of money sink for like some like that's the kind of thing where if I'm putting that kind of money into ownership and maintenance, I'd want to be using it like all the time. Okay. So it's like I'd want to like live in a place where like I can go boating like every day if I wanted. But then it's like, all right, where are you getting your money to afford a lifestyle where you're able to go boating all the time?
Well, so fun's no option. Dream world. Would you think I could be a boater?
No. I've been on a boat a couple times when I was a kid, and like I don't mind it, but like one, I can't swim, so I'm always kind of nervous about sinking. So it's like I have to have a life vest on, and I'm still like you can still die with a life vest on, so I'm still kind of like wishy-washy about the whole thing.
Okay.
Like, but I'll do it. I don't mind like if I had to pick like an extravagant accessory item of such, it would probably be like a camper because my parents had campers when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And like I don't mind camper. Like I like the little camper in the woods setup. Like we used to do it they had it parked at the camper parks. And so like we had a site where like, be hooked up to like running water and whatever, and we go out camping like to the camper for the weekend. And like I like that as a kid. That would be more my speed. like having a little bonfire pit, like with the camper set up, and so it's like you still get the outside, but you still get the amenities of like a bed and a TV.
I'm a beach man. And so the notion of boating is kind of a good time. You know what I'm saying? We rode a ferry a couple of times. You know, we rode the ferry across to go to the beach in Toronto, and that was lovely. It was a nice time. And I rode a ferry in New York now, and I've ridden on the good time here. So all in that theme, that kind of style of boat. You know what I'm saying? A couple of levels and pretty safe. You know what I'm saying? And not in water that's wilding. So I've had good times doing that. But I don't think I'd want to. I don't know if I would want to hop on a yacht, if you will.
Hey, I've been on like a smaller, like 6-8 person boat before. Okay. I've been on those a couple times.
How do you feel in the water? I think I might get seasick on something that small because I'm just rocking and jostling.
I mean, it wasn't like we were zooming around like we were some sort of like 80s cop movie. Like we were just kind of like zipping around like the canal portion of like downtown by like Lake Erie and stuff.
Yeah, and
then we were on a lake. Out by like kind of near where the campground was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But like it was only a couple times. Like and like the boat was like a friend of my dad's or something. So it's not like it was an all the time occurrence. Like I think maybe I've been on it like 2-3 times.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like I said, the ideal is kind of sick to me. I like, oh yeah, it'd be cool to hop on a boat. Especially, I love Lake Erie, but I've also seen Lake Erie where it's like throwing water like.
Oh yeah, crazy!
Tidal wave.
I used to park down there by like the pier when it was like storming. When I was just like playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah,
and I just watched the waves fucking crashing in and shit. It seemed so dangerous. That's a part of why like I wouldn't want to own a boat because you're at the mercy of the weather then.
Yeah,
and like honestly, like being on that small boat those couple times, I would find it only enjoyable if I was the one driving the boat. Just sitting there. It's like a boring car ride where you're not doing anything. Just you're like, oh, I'm on a boat. Cool, I'm on this boat. Like, but you're not doing anything.
Man, are there any Pokemon out in the middle of Lake Erie? Specific?
I have to imagine not.
I know, but it's gonna be pinging cell towers from both sides of the lake, probably. And so you'll probably get a little Canadian action, little, North or whatever.
Well, yeah, American but I don't know how far off the water that they go because like I think that's generally like they specifically leave it to land so people don't do dumb shit, like try to swim out in the middle of Lake Erie for like a Lapras or some shit,
Yeah, I've seen some things go down for a Lapras in this life. So. And that was just on the rumor of a Lapras. Then I think we did get a Lapras that day, right? Yeah, okay. So it goes down. I think it's this weekend coming up. Not this weekend, but next weekend rather.
Yeah, and the fucked up thing about it too is like I bought the ticket for that like 2 months ago, and like I don't know how much of it I'm actually gonna end up doing because remember, like I told you, like Anthony was saying something about like one of his kids maybe having a birthday party or something.
Oh, yeah.
But I haven't heard from him about it since he told me about it a couple weeks ago. So it's like I don't even know if it's like I have no idea. Yeah. My whole next weekend is up in the air right now.
we just have to ask. It's okay. Like, hey, bud, what's up, man? Well,
it just seems like the kind of thing that you don't wait until the week before to tell everyone you're doing.
Fair. So, like I said, well, we will ask and get confirmation because I'd heard about this at all yet. I don't even know about it through you. So, right now I'm not even on the menu.
And he told me in passing, like he was like half his foot was out the door, and he's like, "By the way, we might be doing something." Like, it wasn't like we had sat down and had a heart to heart.
Oh my God. Well, hey, there you go, people. That seems like a solid bit of an opening, doesn't it? Let me get my lyrics up. We'll rap to you. Why am I on full screen on this application?
The regular watchers, too, are probably wondering right now, like, hey, he's not in a hoodie. Like, you're right, I'm not. Hoodie's in the hamper, and it's actually getting warmer in the house now that we're approaching 90-degree weather here.
Next week is supposed to be very, very, very bad. So if you are in the East Coast, Midwest, down south, this whole section of the country over here, next week is supposed to be dangerously hot.
Shit, this weekend's supposed to be 92.
Yeah, so it's rolling.
Like 2 days from now.
Yeah, so I would ask you to be safe, be careful if you are on any kind of mental health meds or other medicines that cause you to be more hot than normal. Stay hydrated, take care of yourself, look out for you and folk because you could be in a real state. And if I hear some British people complaining about 77 degrees being so hot that they're dying in England, I might be a little angry. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like heaven to me. But heaven, unlike we're maybe like about to leave heaven, because like once we start hitting 80, I start to get skeptical and like.
What's the thing? They'll say, "Oh my God, I can't believe it's, let's say 30°C," and it's like ends up being something like you do the conversion. You're like, "Bro, that's like 70 degrees. What is you bitching about?" Well, it's also humid. Like, bro, we live in a swamp. I know humid. I know hot. Y'all seem to not. You have an expectation of it, but still. Fucking the English. I swear to God. They know how to get on my nerves. I think they do it on purpose. All right, I got a lot of lyrics for this one because I love this song, so I ended up having to, I just went deep into it. I didn't do all the lyrics, but I did some of the lyrics. So let's do a long ass a bit of lyricism, okay? Yes. The name of this shit here is La Fleur, La Fla, Escoshka. The Fab Five. Yes, yes, y'all. OGC Helter Skelter be the best, y'all. Fab Five slam from east to west, y'all. Sound pound straight through your bubble vest, y'all. And shake your chest, y'all. Ay caramba, still rain, gun clapper number. One on the set, man, I cut you like lumber. Still play the back in my thunder gear, down to my underwear. Make all you motherfuckers wonder where I come from. Cause motherfuck that pedan, I'm a gun clapper fan, plus I run rappers, man. Fab Five, Mad Lie, blow up the spot. Drew High gets the paper, Black Moon still gets the props. Hey, yo, next to snap a neck, it's be big ROCK. Send MCs to me in squads of 3, say, rock this monster. Is he for real? It can't be. Seeing him in action as he transformed, that man's me. Enemies ain't Carter. Ain't no welcome back in my home. Knots get blown like quarter slots in payphones. Phone home or return like Jedi. I bet I can without lie give your stupid ass red eye. Me not like niggas who can't see past a little bit of life. You come test the champion, you gwanda tonight. And 6 feet deep be where you sleep. Eternally resting in peace, you felt relief. Now big up to all my true heads in the east. Stalking the block, not leaving their house without they get. You best believe that Fab Five got my back like that. I control the masses with metaphors that's massive. Don't ask if the nigga Ruck will bash it like Cassius. I'm drastic. When it comes to verbs, I'll be flipping. Because Herbs just be shitting off the words I'll be kicking. I scold you. Double-headed sword for the petty, but I told you. Bitch niggas that heads ain't ready, now I mold you. Back to the bitch that you are. Fucking with the ruckus, get bruised, battered, and scarred. Hello, welcome to it. It's episode 577, and Word to Arts and Nature. I'm your host, Enter's Hayward 713, joined by the other host, the eBay Emperor Lunchbox 2099.
Hey.
That's my bitch. I don't know if you know that that's a part of a song, but that's exactly the next part of that line is hey. That's my bitch. Box be known, but not known. That's how it is. You know what I'm saying? We out here. It's Juneteenth. We're doing a damn thing. The episode that you should be listening to right now is not up. It's done. I just never posted it. It'll be posted after I finish this. I just got busy doing other stuff during the day. And sometimes it goes down like that. It's oddly enough, I'll have a day off and just be house busy.
But like we're also recording earlier than we normally do by like
5-6 hours. So yeah. So we're good. And so it's a good time.
Oh, yeah, it is 5 hours. Shit, man, I can't math right now.
It's all good. But thanks for joining in on the good times if you're here early. And if you listen to us later, hey, all to the good either way. Got a couple news stories. And I'm pulling one because it's sad and I don't feel like dealing with that today. So one news story and 3 other assholes, and then we'll do our little parts. Let's get to it. This is what I find to be a fun news story. This is Beyond the Bud. How Ohio entrepreneurs are creating immersive cannabis experiences. From painting to yoga to cooking, these crafted experiences can lead to a cultural shift in how we socialize, relax, and heal. Doug Guth on the byline. Ohio lawmakers are considering modifications to the state's recreational cannabis laws almost 18 months after voters passed the issue. Yet the legislators messing with a good thing hasn't stopped area entrepreneurs from integrating marijuana-centric events into the runs of their business. If and when Ohio straightens itself out legally, these meticulously crafted experiences can lead to a cultural shift in how we eat, relax, and heal, said cannabis-friendly owners interviewed by Scene. Clevelander, forgive me. I scrolled and it moved away from it. Hold on. Clevelander JK incorporates cannabis into wellness practices at Zen Den Studio on Sinclair Avenue, offering a wake and bake yoga and other events. Marijuana is a natural fit for an ancient art that prizes health, well-being, and deeper body-mind connection, said Kay. It was an organic ideal for me. All I did was take my personal practice and turn it into an experience for others, Kay said. I knew that if I felt this good and benefited this much, that my neighbors would too. For veterans imbibers, cannabis promotes well-being, heightened sensory awareness, and serves as a mood enhancer, said Kay. Translating those effects to yoga allows practitioners to become more attuned to their bodies, she added. Zen prioritizes enjoyable movement and mental engagement, meaning you can skip the painful contortions and still have a great class, said Kay. Sessions are split into 2 hours, one for smoking and unwinding, the second centered on slow, intentional movement. It's not a bunch of fancy moves, Kay said. There's hands-on assistance, and you'll walk away feeling like you got a full body stretch. It's for everyday people who need movement and guidance to come to a relaxed state. Negative into positive. It was a bad encounter with cannabis that led Chef Stacy Primack to fully appreciate its therapeutic value. While at a party, a friend offered Primack marijuana-laced cookies that were far too potent for her usual tolerance. I learned how some edibles are lacking in dosing transparency, said Primack. There's a huge variance in the feeling you get from smoking compared to eating. That experience highlighted the importance of education and responsible consumption. Along with research into marijuana's effects on chronic illness, the cookie incident led to Primack's creation of Elevated Fork Catering and private event company that specializes in cannabis-infused cuisine. The invite-only dining club curates unique dinners, brunches, cookouts, tea parties, there you go, Box, and other events for newbies and established consumers alike. Primack, now residing in Toledo after 4 years in Cleveland, mostly serves American continental cuisine, a panoply of dishes such as lobster stew or summer squash with fresh ragu. The long-tenured chef may also mix in an Italian night or meals that emphasize fruits and vegetables. Ingredients including cannabis are locally sourced. Primack puts a special importance on microdosing dishes with meticulously balanced amounts of THC and CBD. I may have an older woman and her grandson and want them both to have an amazing experience, Primack said, but I won't give them the same dosage. So I curate menus based on needs and dosage preferences. Everybody should get an even keel high and still be functional. Elevated Fork offers bespoke events throughout northern Ohio, homes, backyards, or barns, play host to a veritable feast for the senses, said Primack. Violinists playing Metallica, for example, may accompany a small art installation. Upon infusion with cannabis, the dishes develop a terpentine aroma that can range from citrusy to earthy and herbal. All your senses are exploding. You're not just eating food and seeing what happens, said Primack. There can be lots of things going on, or there can be a quiet event somewhere with comfortable seating and dim lighting. Or I'll give you a pair of headphones and some light music. I might have a masseuse there to offer massage therapy. There's a bit more to that article, but you get the gist. You get a nice little bit of a nice evening out, and you get stoned, and because it's a chef-based event, they seem to be coming. She seems to be coming to you, as opposed to you going somewhere to her, which just means you don't got to be in the streets. If you are concerned with operating a motor vehicle under the influence, I had just a drink of a purple nurple, which is a cannabis-infused soda, the other day. And they've lowered the amount of THC in the soda since the last time I had it. But guess what? I was still ripped for a long time too, because it's like it's an ingested, so it's not like smoking or whatever. And so I was high the rest of the damn day and into the night. It was no bueno. Oh, actually, it's plenty bueno, but also at the same time, no bueno. Because it's like, I just took a little drink off of this. I didn't like do a full. I probably did what I would consider a glug. I was like, mwah. And I was like, that shouldn't be too bad. It was too bad. I was very, very starting melody. So, but it's a good time to be had, and that's what's up. That's what's up with that. So, what's up, Junior?
Nothing much. The yucca plant has grown back fully.
I saw. Oh, we're recording early because we have the day off. Yes.
Any more for a day?
Here, I'll give you a raise. But it was a good time to be had. It's kind of nice. And I like I said, a situation like this where you can get like some yoga popping, some painting, or just do some things like that. I happen to be just kicking it, playing Switch too. It was very lovely. So I'm saying you want to get your tea party going on, you might want to holler at your man and be like, hey, look at this. I don't know if any of y'all are trying to get down like that, but it's kind of nice that that's an option. So respect entrepreneurs trying to get this bread before our governance fucks it all up for us, because God bless us trying to just chill out and not be drunk. I'm sorry, Jim, what? Yes, the other one I had, it's finally had. What is this piece?
Battery terminal cover.
Yes, I actually know that. For what?
My phone.
Oh.
To go to the track, you have to have at least your positive battery terminal cover in a proper metal battery bar to hold the battery. I already have the bar because that's OEM. But I don't have the cover.
Is that this weekend?
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right.
So this cover should make my car legal, and then I need to remount my fire extinguisher up front. Has to be within his reach.
Okay. My son's
on tires.
My son's headed to the racetrack this weekend in his BMW, and it requires a lot of the Painesville Speedway. If you were wondering where that action can happen in the great state of Ohio, Northeast Ohio, you know what I'm saying? And they have requirements for how your car must be prepared to get on the track. Track is right. That's the word. Anyway, people, as we keep a motherfucking moving, that was your news story for the week. Like I said, the other one was just it's too much, and I didn't feel like dealing with it. Sometimes I just need a break from the bullshit. And today's a happy day and a celebratory day, so we celebrate and we keep it motherfucking moving. But also, it's time for me to hand the reins of the show over to our other host. It's time for some story time with Lunchbox. He has a video that goes with it, and I get to push play on it right now.
I hope it's like the Wonder Years where like you got me like playing in the front yard by a white picket fence, and then like me looking lovingly into like my crush's eyes as I kiss for the first time, and then all of a sudden I'm getting on a boat to war. And then,
I thought it would involve books in some way, story time, but damn.
Yeah, I mean, I guess reading Rainbow works too.
Daniel Boone, what's been going on in the week since we last spoke, if anything, sir?
So I went down to Columbus, Ohio with my buddy last Saturday.
Yeah.
And it was, normal car conversations, talking about things, philosophies on life, things that are going on with us personally. Occasionally you'll hit that like sensitive topic where there's like, a little bit of back and forth, but a healthy conversation, And at one point we started talking about like food, and I was telling him about how like I don't really like cucumbers and stuff and tomatoes and things like that.
Yeah,
because he was talking about how a friend of his like had like a cucumber garden, and they had a bunch of excess cucumbers, so he took them and like pickled them, and he was teaching them how to pickle cucumbers.
Yeah,
and so we had this whole food conversation about those sorts of things while we were on our way driving to Wario's down in Columbus. It's a sandwich shop, and on Saturdays they do like a Saturday only special sandwich, but they don't announce it until the day of when they're open. So we were heading down there to basically get the sandwich. We went a couple months ago and to do some like Magic the Gathering shopping.
Yeah.
And so we're like, I've been refreshing Instagram because I follow the Wario's spot on Instagram. They have two locations. One's like on like kind of like the Ohio State campus, I guess. I've never been there, but like it's their original location. And then they've got one kind of out in the suburbs a little bit. So like we go to the suburbs one because it's easier to park, readily accessible, and it's right across the street from a comic book store and a gaming shop that sells Magic the Gathering stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like it hits a bunch of different things. And so like we're like 2 minutes away from there. And they finally like refreshed their Instagram page. It's like 45 minutes after they've been open, and they show what they're doing for the Saturday special. and they show that at their like original location, the one we're not going to, that they're doing like this like elaborate smash burger with like all these different things, and I'm like, oh man, that sounds good. And then the one that we're going to, that we're 2 minutes away from, they're doing some like fucking fried green tomato sandwich with all these different tomato variants and shit. And I'm like, God damn it. Because the previous week when me and my buddy went to Agave and Rye up here in Cleveland, we got their birria burritos. And like birria is the hot shit right now. Birria is like the king's ransom of meats when it comes to like just casual eateries.
Yeah.
And last Saturday, they had a fucking birria meat sub sandwich. So, of course, the weekend that we go to get the fucking tomato monster that I have absolutely no interest in whatsoever because I don't really like tomatoes that much. So I just got their normal, like, Philly steak. It was good like it normally is. I got their house spuds where they take the fingerling potatoes and kind of smash them down and fry them and cover them with salt. And they give you, like, their little garlic aioli house sauce. And then I also got an order of their antipasta that I didn't get last time.
Yeah.
And I've been doing like the whole peptide thing now for probably about 7 months.
Okay.
And I've come a long way in like learning do's and don'ts as far as like how it affects me and things like that. One of the things I still struggle with at times is portions.
Oh, yeah.
Because even though I eat less than I did before, there's still times like we're like ordering like a foot-long sub from a sandwich shop. That was normal happenstance. And so it's just like, and they don't give you an option of like a half or a full. Like you get the sub, it's a full, like regardless, you don't have a choice. So I get the sandwich and like the potatoes and everything and the antipasta. And I knew I wasn't planning on eating the whole thing there. Like I was planning on taking the potatoes home with me and eating them like the next day for breakfast anyway. That was initially my plan. So, like, I'm eating the sandwich. I get through the first half of the sandwich, and I immediately feel, like, full. Like, I don't want to eat anymore. But I went against that, and I finished the sandwich. And, like, because in my mind, the thought, like, never crossed my mind until after I was done that, like, hey, you could have just taken the other half of the sandwich with you. Like, it just – and that was where I was disappointed in myself – that I didn't have that instinct kick in until it was too late. Yeah. But then on the flip side, I feel proud of myself because now I feel like I'm learning that trigger. And even though I don't have it quite down yet, I feel like I'm getting there. I'm getting there, and it's going to come soon to where like I'll know right away, like, hey, you've eaten half of this food, just take the other half with you. You don't have to finish it. You know, like it's not hurting anybody if you take it with you. Like you're not inconveniencing anybody. You can eat it later. It's fine. Because I had that trained into me of like, finish your food, no wasting, blah, 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 blah. And so like now I'm having to rewire my own brain. And even though like it takes a little bit, at least now I recognize what I'm doing and I'm working on being better with the behavior because I opened up the potatoes and I ate like 3 of them and I immediately closed it back up and I didn't even open the antipasta salad until I got back home. The other thing about it too, though, was there's a Love's gas station on the way down to Columbus from here that has a Taco John's in it.
Yeah.
And my buddy on the way down asked if on the way back we could stop at Taco John's. So our first stop was an eatery, and then our last stop was going to be an eatery. And we only had like 4 hours in between. So with me being on these meds that kind of like slows down my digestion, I fucked up at the sandwich shop by eating the whole sandwich for, capacity's sake. And also I needed to be able to have enough space that when we went to Taco John's, I could get something and not, like be sick off of it. So we ended up going to like 4 Magic the Gathering shops. Damn, you at a Speedway now? Shit.
That's my son pulling off.
Oh, he's one of those people. Okay.
Yeah.
One of those fucking people that drives by my house at 8:30 in the morning. Ugh.
He is respectful about his time when he does that. So right now, that's in early.
I know,
early.
But it's just there are people that do that shit, and I'm just like, man, you want me to be an angry old white man, don't you? Get off my lawn, motherfucker. Anyway, So yeah, we went to like 4. I think it was 4 Magic the Gathering shops with a comic book store. The one card shop we went to was also like a retro video game store. So I was looking at like old Sega CD games and Nintendo stuff, and it was a cool place. Definitely shit wasn't cheap in there, but it was a nice place. They had like good artwork that they'd commissioned that they had out on the windows. So I definitely would go back there. But yeah, we stopped at the Taco John's on the way back. So I never had Taco John's before. The one chance I had to get it was when I was in Wisconsin, and I declined.
Yeah.
And even when we went there, I wasn't hungry really. So like, but I wanted to at least try something. So I got 2 little like couple dollars. Like I spent $7 at Taco John's. I bought 2 burritos and a churro. Like I didn't.
That's actually that's good money for what you got.
I mean, when I compare it to like a normal Taco Bell order, that's like a third of a Taco Bell order.
Okay.
Like, let's just be honest. Like, but no, I got like, it was like a spicy chicken burrito. And the other one was basically like almost like a chili cheese burrito from Taco Bell, but they also put like tortilla chips inside of it. And then, like I said, I got a singular churro because I was like, well, fuck, I want to try the churro. The burritos were fine. Like, it was the kind of situation where like I ate it and it wasn't disgusting, but it was clearly like no effort was put into the food, and it was clearly processed type of shit.
Yeah. So
like it was normal fast food type of food where like I would never go out of my way again to like be like, oh man, I gotta get Taco John's today. But if I was ever in a pinch and it was the only thing around, I could eat it. I probably feel like shit afterwards.
Yeah.
But like it would be edible going down.
So maybe 2 years ago, Doughboys, you know, the podcast I listened to, they went to Taco John's in Minnesota and absolutely hated it. And people were like, no, you have to go to this location and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, look, fuck all that. If I got to do all this effort to try to make this shit good, clearly Taco John's ain't hitting like y'all say it is. So
yeah, like I wasn't impressed in any way, shape, or form, but like I also wasn't disgusted.
Fair.
Now, I was disgusted with the facilities. Like while we were sitting there, I looked over at the pop dispenser station, and I turned to my buddy and I'm like, how could anyone in their right mind look at that and want to like go put a cup on the tip of that and like, because it's like the side looks all dirty and shit, and I'm just like, all right, if the situation looks like this, I can't even imagine the maintenance that goes into this thing. Like it's got to be disgusting in there. So like because I bought like a water out of the Loves, like I bought a Propel.
Yeah,
because that was the thing I realized was that I was dehydrated, because that's the thing about these meds too, is like they use up a lot of minerals and water in the body. And then I like when we were at the sandwich shop, I got a Diet Coke, which I barely ever get pop. Yeah. And so we were on the road. All I had at that point during the day was some tea and some pop. And I had a big sub sandwich that was in my intestines digesting. And so I was like, I bought one of those. It was like a 33-ounce Propel that had like, it was like a berry flavor or whatever. And I drank the whole thing while we were sitting there at the Taco John's. Yeah. And so like, I was definitely like, I was dehydrated, which after I drank that water with the food, I felt better because I kind of felt shitty up to that point. Like I was sweating a lot and stuff, but it also could have been the meds too. But anyway, that was the end of the trip after that because he had to to get back for a date or whatever. So I was actually home back by around 5. We left at about 9:30ish in the morning, and I was back home by 5.
Y'all, did you stop by Grandpa's Cheese Bar? And I didn't have the opportunity to this last time. I was because it was late at night when we went out. Well, it was early in the morning when I went. You cut out when. Oh, my apologies. I was saying, did you get a chance to stop at Grandpa's Cheese Bar? Because I didn't get to go coming or go on this last trip.
No, I haven't been to Grandpa's Cheese Bar in about a year. Like when I went to the Flying Dutchman with my parents. Yeah. That was the last time I went to Grandpa's Cheese Bar. God, I love that place. And they had a video up the other day on, I think, TikTok or something. I was like, did they change this? This looks a little brighter and nicer. It's funny. The Flying Dutchman is actually at the same exit as the Loves with the Taco John's.
Oh, see, that's there you go. So yeah, you was right back in the neck of the woods. Have you ever been to? I realize this has nothing to do with what you're saying, but this just popped up the other day in my feed, and I remember hearing people talk about it all the time. It's I'm not gonna be able to think of the name of it. Seafood restaurant, kind of on the east side.
Lobster Treachers?
No, it's like sit down restaurant kind of situation.
Oh, then I have no fucking idea.
Fuck, now I forgot the name of it. It's kind of crab spot. They have an unlimited crab bucket for like $52, and I'm just like,
oh, is it out by
Pickle
like
Bills?
Aurora?
Pickle Bills.
I think I have heard of it. Never been.
See,
I think I've seen it on like a T-shirt or something.
Okay. Yeah. See, Pickle Bill's Lobster House in Grand River, Ohio, is where this is at. And I remember my buddy Tim talking about this, and I ain't worked with Tim, and I worked with Tim like my first 2 years where we work at, so a good 20 years. So the fact that Pickle Bill's is still around after all this time speaks a lot. So respect to Pickle Bill's Lobster House. But yeah, man, they got an unlimited all you can eat crab legs for $52.99. And I'm like, they also have a pound for $27, 2 pounds for $33, and 3 pounds for $39.99. I'm like, I wonder what's the proper market. Do you just go all you can eat and go wham?
It's funny. Me and my buddy were actually talking about lobster and crab like while we were in the car.
Nice.
That was another car conversation.
Bro.
So I was talking about we got on like lobster mac and cheese conversation.
Yeah.
And I told him that like while I think lobster and crab and stuff is like good, I don't understand why people go so fucking gaga over it because it's just fine. Like you have to pay so much to get so little. And even in those situations where you get the crab legs, like I remember back at the Chinese buffet back in the day where people would go, it would be like gang fights up there trying to get crab legs out the things. Yeah. You finally get a couple and it ends up being a fucking job to even get any of the meat out if you don't know how to crack right. And then you do all this labor to get it out and then you barely get any meat out of the leg.
So I argue, one, lobster is always worth it. Fresh lobster, meaning if you're on the coast and can get to some lobster that was recently in the water. Anything we got here, it has been here for a while and or was frozen. I guess we have lobster tanks, but I mean, it's not the same as a lobster that was just hanging out in the ocean a couple hours before you got that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So that lobster I always feel like is worth the price. King crab legs, worth the price. The shit they have at the Chinese buffet, and no knocking on the Chinese buffet, respect that you managed to even pull off crab legs at a buffet because I know it's whatever. It's some bullshit ass crabs that is barely worth your time, and I don't fuck with it. I also don't like the idea of lobster mac and cheese. I feel like you're one of them is not getting the treatment it needs. Yeah,
I just like the couple of times I've had it at like steakhouses, I've just left unimpressed. I'd rather just have regular ass mac and cheese.
Thank you. I'd rather have mac and cheese, or I'd rather have lobster. Don't put them together. It's unnecessary. Keith Lee currently is in. Keith Lee, the food critic from TikTok, is currently in Cannes, France. Cannes? I don't know. So that's on that bitch or it's not. And he's at a restaurant, and he had actual truffle fries. And what I mean by that is they hit him with them frites, and actually thinly sliced truffles over. And he was like, I can never have this again because the bullshit they serve at home, which they call truffle fries, is basically French fries that they sprinkle a little truffle oil over, and it's not even truffles in that oil. It's usually just, anyway, it's not real. It ain't truffle fries, and rarely are you getting truffle fries in the United States. But he was over there in France, and he got some truffle fries, and he was just like, he was salty because he knows he can't get that at home no more.
What's funny, I actually had, was it Melinda's black truffle sauce earlier today on some food?
I mean, in the ingredients, does it say truffles?
I'd have to go look.
Well, I'm not.
Last time I remember looking at the label, I remember reading about the canola oil and thinking, "Oh my god, my arteries."
What's the brand? Is this
Melinda's?
Melinda, M-A-L or M-E?
M-E-L.
Melinda's black truffle. I'm just gonna put that in, and hopefully that'll get me the rest of the way. Melinda's black truffle hot sauce. Let's see what's in here. I don't want to accept your cookies, but you don't actually give me an option to not accept your cookies. There you go. There's the option. It was just in finer print. We're going to decline all your cookies. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at your ingredient. Let's take a look, Melinda. Melinda, I'll be real with you. Cayenne pepper, mash, white vinegar, water, canola vegetable oil, fresh garlic, salt, cane sugar, onion powder, honey, grated Parmesan, xanthan gum, citric acid, natural flavors. Mind you, in case you're an international listener, how ingredients work in America, and this is just the rules of such, they're listed by the amount of what you have in there. So at the top of this, what is the most of in this recipe here is cayenne pepper mash. Okay. Natural flavors. In parentheses, truffle, comma, butter. Black truffle from Italy. And in brackets, black truffle juice, summer black truffle, and in parentheses, tuber AESTIVUM, salt, natural flavor, truffle again in parentheses, and vegetable fiber. I don't know what the fiber is. So there is indeed, they can say black truffle hot sauce, but you see how far down the list of truffles was.
I feel like I'm eating mechanically separated truffle sauce.
Mechanically separated chicken. So that's I don't know. That's both funny to me and also, allergy information contains milk, the butter, okay, may contain traces of tree nuts, coconut. Where did the coconut come from? You heard what I read you. Nothing of that should have had a coconut. Eggs. I didn't read you eggs on this list of ingredients. Soybeans. No, because that's not even what canola oil is. And sesame. I didn't read you any of those ingredients, but that's the allergy information they provided for you. Our country is wild. But again, this is Europeans talking about how bad our food is for us. Our food in America is very hyper, almost to a point of like you might not want to be fucking with us because you know so much. We tell you what's in it to a degree of like you see what's in this food down to like parentheses and so forth and so on, because we have some of oddly the best food on the planet. Even though I know you're like, man, our food kind of junk, but it's not. It's we have a very secure system of food in America, and we also have very hyper specific rules about what you can get away with. People be like, "Oh, I heard you can eat 5 bugs in America." Well, if you know that I can eat 5 bugs in America, trust me, in Europe they're eating way more bugs than I am because they don't have rules that specific to their situation. So I'll be mad at Europeans. Europeans be on TikTok talking a little too reckless about the states, and I can't get down with that. Well, I'm glad you had a fun foodie adventure. And did you get anything magic-wise? Did you find anything that was like, okay, I finally came upon something I'd been looking for or anything like that?
I bought a dual land. It was like, so the first place we went to, they had dual lands, but like I felt like they were overpriced. And this is something my buddy was trying to impress upon me, was go into these shops, haggle, or at least ask to haggle a little bit. And I'm usually not good at that. Like I hate the confrontation of it. And I also wasn't impressed with some of the quality of some of the stuff that was in the case, the cheaper things. Because I didn't want to spend a shit ton of money knowing like I have this trip coming up in end of September, knowing that like I'm gonna need new tires on my car before I go on that trip. And just normal day-to-day life and shit. So it's like I was trying to keep my spending to a little bit of a more reasonable, because I guess I'm a little jaded out for the last time we went where I dropped like $1,200 on stuff, but that was also because I had a couple big one-time purchases that I'll never have to make again. So, this trip on this past Saturday is more indicative of future trips. But I skipped out on buying any in the first shop, and then the second shop didn't have any, and then the third place we went to, they had a couple, and like one of them was. It was $250, which is a good price for that. And it was that price because on the back of the card, it had like a little ding where like the cardboard had gotten a little damaged, and it had a couple like spots around there where like clearly like something had kind of like got dug into it a little bit. So it was like technically like damaged, but it wasn't like damaged bad to where like if it's in a sleeve, you could really fucking tell the difference.
Mm-hmm.
And then the front of it was clean, like outside of like the stuff I just talked about, like with the indents and stuff.
Yeah.
It was like nice and crispy white, whereas like the one at the other shop was all dirty and played and scuffed up and shit. The one they wanted at the first shop with the scuffed up one was like $340. This one for $250. I'm like, well, it's like going to like the grocery store and getting the dented soup can for like half the price almost.
Yeah, for sure.
So I bought the dented can version to me, which looked nicer anyway. And so that was my big purchase of the trip. I bought like a couple of fetch lands at this one shop, and then there's this place inside the convention center that's like a comic book store / gaming shop, and their prices on stuff like they clearly like don't have like a huge Magic presence of sorts, but they have Magic in there, and they get stuff in that they buy or acquire from somewhere, and their prices on their singles when they have them, like they don't have an expansive like offering, but whatever they do have is generally priced either at like what the market value is or less than the market value. So it's a good place to pick up value. I like going down there. Like it to me at this point, it's a staple of like every trip I go down there for that sort of thing. I have to go there because every time I go there, I find stuff at like good prices.
Dude. Yeah,
like I'm actually kind of beating myself up because there were a couple things that I thought about buying while I was there that I didn't end up ultimately pulling the trigger on. And then when I got home and looked them up, they were like half the price at that shop. Like, cause I don't know all the prices of things anymore. Like I used to back in the day. Cause I'm getting more hyper fixated on it as the days go by now, but I'm still not, it's like a lot of years of knowledge and like keeping up with current events that I don't do.
Yeah.
So like I'm aware of things, but I'm not fully aware. So I had no idea what the specific card cost. And then I find out it was like half the price there. I should have bought them, but it is what it is. I spent like $50 on stuff in there, and I bought my buddy like a little gift for driving and stuff. So I like that place. One of the kids who works there are one of the I shouldn't say kid. He's probably middle aged or whatever, but he's a little weird, but he's nice enough.
As for negotiating, especially in situations like that. Like, you go to flea market, you never try to give a little hustle at the flea market, you just take what they give it.
I've done it a couple times, and sometimes it just feels weird.
I mean,
I did it at a toy show when I went, it was like 2 years ago.
Okay.
It was like the one Stay Puft Marshmallow plush that I bought off the one guy.
Yeah.
I knew what they were charging on eBay, and I knew what he was asking like $10 more than eBay.
Yeah.
And I offered him the eBay price. And like, I could see the like on him when I like made the offer.
Yeah.
And then there was another time there where I tried to offer less for something, and they were just like adamant that they weren't going to even entertain the thought.
Hey, I like that people know what they is, but all it comes down to, and I mean, and you know it, and there's no point in me telling it to you, but I mean, I guess I'm saying it more to you, the listener, is just say, can you do a little better than that? What are we talking about here? You know what I'm saying? And if you want to, because some people got that, I'm like, they got a snap in them. They want to put a little fight. They want to, 10 out of 10. I'm not that kind of dude. I don't got that kind of fight in me. I'm simply going to be like, can you do any better? And if they say, no, I'm not budging, then I'm like, hey, cool. You ain't budging. Neither am I. But if they like, I don't know what you're talking, they oftentimes they'll just like, I don't know what you're talking about. You'd be like, well, hey, I know that it goes for X amount on eBay. Can we do eBay price for me? And it's either yes or no. It's gotta come down to that. But I know what it is. We just don't have that battle in us. It's like neither do I. I don't. But when it comes to stuff like that, where I know I'm like, it's some hustle here, I'll ask. I can be like, hey man, do a little better, and they either can or they can't. So I'm not missing out on anything like that there. So. And you said you'll know people who got a little like groove to them. Be like, what you talking about? What you thinking? Well, I'm thinking I'd like you to give it to me as a gift, but that's not how you keep a business going. So what can we do here to find a happy medium? So you're saying next time you go down there, you know what I'm saying, if you are inclined, you're like, hey, just and if it strikes your fancy, you got to not come home disappointed no more. Like, damn, I should have got that. I don't like you going on. Life is too damn short, bro. I'm not saying go buy the $1,000 card, but if it's something you're like, I mean, this ain't gonna break me, why not get it?
There's just so many like things I'm trying to do right now.
I know you are juggling
and
so much right now as we near this birthday and so forth. But
like I actually like last night, like I went over to my parents and my dad was telling me about how he went to like the coin shop the other day and like the shop had like these platinum coins, but like my dad's on the government disability now after like his heart attack a couple years ago. Yeah. So like they're on like a fixed income and whatever. And so it's not like my dad could just go like blow money willy-nilly. And so like when I got into there yesterday, I was talking to my dad about how I was watching YouTube videos like the night before on, bullion, like silver and gold and stuff. And I was talking to him about like the one video I watched where he was talking about silver and like these different things. And so like my dad was just like, oh, you want to buy some silver off me? Because my dad was trying to think of like going to that coin shop and exchanging silver for the platinum that he wanted. But the thing about that is like you end up paying a premium. Like these money exchanges, there's what's called what the fuck is it called? There's like a term for it, but it's basically kind of like the fees on
exchange fees.
Yeah, but like there's an actual term for it.
Okay.
And it's bothering me that I can't remember it off the top of my head now that I'm talking about it, even though like I know what the fuck it is. Spot. It's a spot, and
what's a spot? Here,
and so like at the shops, there's like that spot variance, and you're gonna get less from the shop than like if you were to do a person-to-person exchange. And so like my dad was like looking to convert some silver into currency so that he could go get this platinum. And so I did my dad a solid last night and I bought some silver coins off of him.
Yeah. A spot trade takes place whenever a financial instrument, in this case coins, changes hands, is paid for immediately. If you buy or sell crypto through a spot trade, you'll pay a spot fee to the exchange for facilitating the transaction. And so spot fees are charges that apply when buying or selling an asset immediately at the current market price on a spot market. These fees are typically charged by the platform facilitating the transaction. So that's what the spot fee is. Mostly for crypto. It's interesting that actually comes from coins initially, which is, I'm saying, Bitcoin, I'm saying, being, the granddaddy of crypto. That actually comes straight from buying and selling and trading coins. So that's interesting.
Yeah, like when you buy from these like bullion exchanges,
yeah,
they bake the spot cost into the cost of the item. So like say silver's worth $37 an ounce. There's like a certain premium that the spot is on that amount. So it's, I don't know, we'll just spitball and say it's 10%. Like, I don't know. Generally, I think it's more like 4 to 5, but say it's 10. Then, so that $37 ounce of silver will now, if you bought it from the exchange, cost $40.70 because they're getting their little kickback on that premium of selling you that silver. So that's what a lot of these like coin shops do is like they play in that ballpark of the spots and stuff. And so like, depending on the quality of the coin or the mint and what it is, like there could be like more play within that spot realm. So you're always going to get less when you sell to an exchange or a coin shop or something like that. So like if you can do like person to person, you can generally cut a better deal. There's a little more negotiation there. I basically like I'm building that up as like kind of break glass in case of emergency investment of sorts, like diversification thing. And my dad needed the money, so I did Pops a solid, and he hooked me up a little bit. Like I said, he cut me a deal on the spot, and then he gave me like a free silver certificate as a thank you.
Okay. Jake, there's a depth to metal, what is it? Precious metal. I guess investing. It's not necessarily collecting because your dad's not like a guy putting coins under plastic to be like, look how sweet this coin looks, is he?
Actually, he does. Okay. I mean, not to the degree that you may think, but he's been collecting coins since he was a kid. Okay. Both avenues do exist, and some people do overlap. My dad, I would say these days he's more into investment side, but my dad does have stuff that he's collected. I don't know. Like I haven't seen most of it since I was a kid, but
wooden nickel or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Something that looks nifty that he's just like, I got this
wooden nickel.
No, because that was so. I actually learned about.
It's just funny hearing that. Yeah.
actually like learned about them from watching Sinners because somebody went on to explain that what wood nickels were, and basically people worked for companies back in the day, and companies would have their own money, and you could buy stuff from the company store. Basically, you spent your paycheck. Everything was just basically within an ecosystem for the company you work for, which is weird when you think about that. But they would literally, have in some situations a wooden nickel, and you could spend it at the company's shop. So I think if I could find some wooden nickels from some company that are probably worth way more than a nickel at this point, if they're in good shape, I think that'd be kind of neat. Cool. Is there somebody who invented coin collecting? Are you seeing this man? Oh no, this is a portrait of a man with a Roman medal depicting a Renaissance collector. Okay, so we've been collecting coins since coins were a thing. Very cool. Niff. All right. Anything else, Daniel?
No, that basically summarizes the last couple of days of my life outside of work.
Very good, very good. Well, finally, I've done it, people. I've made myself a T-Time entrance. I don't know if it's longer or shorter than Dan's, but we're going to push play on it, and you let me know what you think of it, and then we'll get into some T-Time. There's a couple I was like, I might cut that by a second or two. That's just me being critical of my own situation. I just made that yesterday, people. Hope you liked it. It was like, I've been thinking about it forever, and I actually just started gathering stuff when I began getting ready to make the show that has yet to go up. But today's episode that goes up today, 576. And I was like, I need to get this together. I keep saying I'm going to do it, and I haven't done it yet. So there. I need to make a first up as always as Tatum, even though he hadn't been on the show on a stretch. That way, when he does come back, it's there. And I think that'd be lovely. So I need to get that together too. I told my son, I said I'm immediately telling this on the podcast when this happened because it was just so hilarious to me. My kid calls me the other day and it's like, hey, how do you use a phone? And I was like, the fuck? But an actual phone is something out of children's wheelhouse because they don't use them. And I was just like, oh yeah, that now you say it, I guess you wouldn't know how to use a phone. Depending on, I guess, the office situation, you might have to dial 9 to get a line out. But I go, you just dial the phone numbers. But then I had to think about it. I was like, well, wait a minute. Old school phones are phones, the phones we grew up with. If you're calling local, you don't even have to dial an area code. You just dial the 7, the 7 digits you are within. So it's like I had to explain that to him and so forth. And I just started thinking about it. I'm just like, yo, that is crazy that how different and how the same it is. Of course, it's the same. It's buttons. The buttons on your phone are representative of the buttons that were on physical phones back in the day. But imagine just now, if you have a youngin' like I do, them having to try to make a phone call on a phone at your mama's house or something like that if she had, or your grandma's house if they had still, a landline. And it's just like, oh yeah, that's a challenging situation if you don't know what you're doing. Because again, what we normally do is we go to grandma's name on our phone, we push her name, and there you go, a phone call has happened. But physical phones used to be you have to get down with the get down and like type this whole number out one at a time and watch your fingers. And I just thought that was so hilarious. At his job, they of course have an actual phone, and he's like, "Why did you need to know how to use that phone?"
This lady called us earlier. She's like, "I just woke up at 10 a.m. My swim lesson's at 10 a.m. Can I Can I come to this lesson later?" And I was like, "I'll ask my boss," and she said no. But then she asked my big boss, and he was like, "Yes." So we had to call her back to tell her she could come in for her swim lesson.
Oh, and you have to use the work phone to make that phone call as opposed to your own personal phone. That makes perfect sense. That's crazy. Was she a local number?
Yes.
Like 216, I mean. Okay, so there you go. That it's just 7 numbers you have to put in. So, do you have to dial 9 to get a line out?
9-1.
9-1. Why the damn die? Yeah, it's been a long time since I had to use a phone, y'all. We didn't have them on our desk at work. Well, no, Box used to have a phone, didn't you? Like a physical phone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, they got rid of our phones at work. God, probably like, I'm not gonna say 10 years ago, but I mean, shit. Now that I think about it, probably 10 years ago, because it was 5 years of pandemic. So, and I definitely didn't have a phone when we left. So, it probably has been about 10 years since I had a phone on my desk because my part of the business don't make phone calls. It's just what it is. Whereas Box is required to make phone calls. Gross.
Hate it with a passion.
Yeah, that whole situation is super wild to me. What else been popping in my life? None, man. It's actually just been all vibes. Just it's been very quiet around these parts. I had somebody come over the other day to fix my stove, which was interesting. And he was just like, "Hey, yeah, that stove. Oh, I go. That stove's been in my house. I've been in my house 17 years. That stove was here when I got here. So I let you know that stove is either." Let's say it was brand new when I got here, 17 years old, but probably not because he couldn't even figure out the model of it, but he knew what he had to do to fix it because it's like there was no information on there that could have provided. So it's old enough that the label that would have said what model of stove this is ain't there. But the actual oven wasn't working. The top works fine. The eyes work, but the oven wasn't working. So I got that fixed. I told you I actually got too high the other day. That was crazy. Let's see. Think anything else would have been calculated. It's been pretty much like I said, just vibey. You know what I'm saying? It's a good time. Going into summertime right now. I have a lot of time off here and there. My kid's birthday's coming up. We're gonna have to. We're gonna have a graduation party for him soon. Went to a graduation party this past weekend. Nessa's niece, but actually at this point I kind of just consider I'm like, well, me and Vanessa have been together for we've lived together for 10 years. So at this point, it's okay for me to just call these people my niece or my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, my sisters-in-law, and so forth, because we've been together that long. It ain't like I'm going nowhere. It ain't like she's going nowhere. So that's just what it is. So I was at my niece's graduation party. Love you, kid. Be safe. Have a good day. And so that was nice. But then, of course, I noticed that but not just me. Basically, we get to the house. The party's bumping and so forth. Lots of people are there. But I look around and I'm like, nobody I fuck with is upstairs or in the the regular part of the house. And I'm like, where's everybody? Everybody is in the basement because we're all a bunch of fucking idiots. Oh, I'm just hiding out in the basement away from people because we're just so antisocial and so whatever. I had to laugh and I'm like, that's cool. I'm glad this is how her family is, or at least that part of the family is, because that is who I am. So of course we just hide in the basement. Everybody's rocking upstairs, and it's a good time. And I just play it down there and kick it with actually oddly enough the part of the family that I really love. And so then her grandpa. This was crazy, Dad. Made me laugh. So her dad's down there. But her granddad, what I mean by that is her mother's father is dead. Her mother's father, still after all these years, and they've been divorced for a very long time, does not fuck with Vanessa's father. But her dad is talking about whatever and so forth and so on. Her grandpa gets up. He's sitting across the room. Gets up, slides across the room, whispers in my ear and goes, "That man don't talk." He actually says his name. You don't talk nothing but bullshit. I'm like, why are you so mad at this dude? And this was like, yeah, Grandpa still ain't cool with the way he treated my moms when they were going through the divorce. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. But also, I love that her grandpa keep it real like that. Oh my God, just a good time, and that was all. And like Vanessa couldn't go, so actually, oddly enough, me and Lee would had to go stand in. You know what I'm saying, for our part of the family because Nessa had to work, and she was so worried. And she's like, they're gonna think I'm avoiding family stuff because her family had a bit of a reunion the week we were having. I was having my family reunion, so she was worried that like she missing 2 family events in a row was going to be an issue, and it wasn't, and everything was fine. But I'm glad we got to go stand in and kick it and represent for our little section of the fam, and had a good time doing that. So it's graduation party season. I don't have any weddings on schedule, thank the maker. I think everybody who is getting married currently is married, so I don't have to trip off of that. So that is a good thing. But we're otherwise. What did Ant just send us? Oh no, did you send that or did Ant send that?
I sent that.
Okay. Yeah, great. Yeah, at some point, man, it's like
I just assume at this point every person in the world has my logins to everything.
oh, I already know. One of my credit cards has a dark web check, and it constantly says, "Hey man, your shit's on the dark web." And I'm like, I know, baby.
Same.
We lost in the Equifax breach years ago. It's like, but I'm not a wealthy man. There's not much you can take from me. And if you try to, I can probably get it back real quick because I know a thing or two about a thing or two.
Yeah, like a couple weeks ago, I got like an email that someone logged into my Peacock account down in Mount Gilead, Ohio.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know anyone in fucking Mount Gilead, Ohio that has my login. And I'm like, it has to be one of like a couple people because I only like that specific login to Peacock is only the Peacock login and the Paramount Plus login. It logs into nothing else.
Yeah.
And I've given it to like 4 people or something. And I'm like, I don't know who the fuck would be in Mount Gilead. And I'm not about to go ask everyone if they were in Mount Gilead. So I'm like, fuck it. If someone got my login somehow, chalk it up to the game. At this point, I can't be fucking chasing people down.
As long as it's not fucking with you, like they not changing what you watch or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Here, if you're in a foreign land, enjoy. Every now and again, I go and check my now they changed the rules. It used to be, you know what I'm saying? I would go check my Netflix. It'd be somebody in Brazil watching my shit.
Yeah, I used to get notifications that someone was trying to use my Spotify down in Brazil.
Yeah. But at this point, they do the whole, like, you got to be in the same household, blah, blah, yakety schmackety. So I hadn't even bothered checking to see where my Netflix is logged in at. Also, when I log in on my phone sometimes is pinging off towers from God knows where and what computer system they're connected to. So sometimes it'll be like, hey, man, are you at home? I'm like, bruh, I'm just on my phone. Relax. I'll pay for this service. Shut the fuck up and be cool. It's unnecessary, just nonsense. But there you go, people. That was a bit of tea time. We vibing. You know what the deal is. Every week, we head over to Reddit and we dig a little deeper into the subreddit that is called Am I the Asshole? And we read a few and see if these people are fucking assholes. So we're going to do it again this week. These Skylar Ray cherries are amazing. Get you some. I don't know if they limited because they ain't trying to give me that many or whatever because they only grow at a certain time of the year, but fuck them. They so good. Hold on. Let's find where these bitches come from. They gonna come from someplace I can get them on a regular. Product of the United States. Well, shit. Skylar Ray is registered trademark of Tip Top Orchards LLC. People, let's find out where Tip Top Orchards is at. Tip Top Orchards LLC. They're in Buckland of Massachusetts. And Tip Top Cherry. Oh, and that's where these cherries come from. I think no good fruit grower. Fascinating. Right on. Work to Tip Top Orchards and their Skylar Ray sweet cherries. Or family owned and operated cherry orchard located in Halverson Canyon. So the corporation is in Massachusetts, but where's Halverson Canyon located? These are the questions that pop in my head that I have to have answers for. Don't worry, we'll have the asshole search Google. Halverson Canyon is in Washington. So these are Washington cherries. But they business, the company that harvests these bad boys is in Maine, Massachusetts. That's this nation. I got to tell you, man. We be doing some things here that's both amazing and terrible. I think this one leans more toward amazing. All right. Here are your selection of Emma the Assholes. Emma the Asshole for saying my brother doesn't deserve the Switch 2. Emma the Asshole for refusing to help my roommates move out after they broke our lease early. Emma the Asshole for telling my colleague I hope he never finds a girlfriend.
Damn, that's cold-blooded.
All right, which one you want to start with?
Go number 2.
All right. Emma the Asshole for refusing to help my roommates move out after they broke our lease early. I, 26 female, and this is how this is written. So I'm 26 female and had been living with. Okay, so I'm the fuck up here. I was reading it wrong. And had been living with a roommate for almost 2 years. We renewed our lease back in March for another full year. Things were pretty normal. No major drama. We split rent and utilities evenly and mostly did our own thing. A few weeks ago, my roommate got a new job in another city. Cool, good for them. But they gave me 2 weeks notice that they were moving out and had already spoken to the landlord about getting their name off the lease. No plan, no subletter lined up, nothing. Just, I figured you could cover things for a while until you find someone. I told them that wasn't going to work for me. I didn't agree to live alone, and I definitely can't afford this place on my own. They brushed it off and basically said I should be supportive of their big opportunity and that I'd figure something out. Fast forward to moving day, and they asked if I'd help them carry furniture, load the U-Haul, clean, etc. I told them no. I said I didn't feel right helping out after the way they left me with everything. It got really cold after that and told some of our mutual friends that I was being bitter and making their move more stressful out of spite. Now some people are saying I should have just helped to be the bigger person and that it wouldn't have killed me to lift a few boxes. Others agree with me and say it was pretty bold of them to expect help after bailing. So I'm the asshole for refusing to help my roommate to move out after they dumped the lease on me. As you can see, Box just disappeared. So we'll see if Boxer comes back. But taking just what I've just presented to you, of course you're not an asshole. Your roommate's an asshole, and your friends are kind of assholes for having trying to play the role like, oh, you could be the bigger person. What's this bullshit of always trying to make people be the bigger person? Why I have to be better than the next man? This person gave me 2 weeks notice on a year lease. Come on, man. Fuck out of here with that. I don't have to be the bigger person here. It's nonsense to request that of me and ask that of me because I did nothing wrong here. Bigger person. It's like there's no way you have to be the bigger person. It's not. It's bullshit. It's like stop that. You can be the bigger person. I guess I don't even know in what situation you should be the bigger person. I hate that people think that if somebody do you dirty, you should be cool with it. So
I didn't hear the end of the story because my tab crashed, but yeah.
Oh, so basically,
no, I got like the gist. Like they wanted help moving, she didn't want to help. Yeah.
So, and she had friends saying you should be the bigger person and blah blah blah, but other friends was like, hell no, you right. And I'm just like, I don't believe this whole bigger person thing. And actually, I don't even know an example of what or where one should be the bigger person. Why is it that you have to put up with people doing you dirty?
Yeah, it's a fine line because like you're taught to be a good person and put other people first and yada yada yada. But like, there's also this ideology that like you're the only person at the end of the day that will truly take care of you. Like, I get people fall in love and there's marriages and shit, but like in this day and age, marriages crumble at like such an accelerated rate that like they really kind of like hits home the idea that like you are the only person at the end of the day that is going to take care of you. There's no guarantee that your parents are going to love you and take care of you. There's no guarantee that person that you fell in love with is still going to love you 10 years from now and take care of you. You have to love you and take care of you. Now you have to find your limitation on how much you're willing to help other people that'll take away from your peace. But that's a personal decision. I don't think anyone can make that call for you.
Yeah. Again, this person is not an asshole for this. I guess I'll allow for slightly petty, but also fuck, I look like helping you when you've left me in a lurch. So,
yeah, that's kind of tough.
Yeah. Let's scroll down, see if we see anything. Are you sure she's off the lease? She may just be saying that so you won't go after her share of rent. Talk to your landlord. And somebody responds, yeah, there's no way a landlord would risk getting half the rent they used to. There's no way that's what happened unless the landlord expressly talked to you. The other scenario is the landlord already found a replacement, which is also not a great scenario for OP. And then somebody says, I don't know anywhere in the U.S. where it's legal for the landlord to take someone off the lease without everyone on the current lease signing a break lease agreement and then signing a new lease with a new agreement. OP, your roommate is likely lying to you. Go talk to your landlord. There's almost no chance they were let off the lease without your direct consent. If they refuse to pay their portion of rent, go after them in small claims court. And this person says it depends on your lease, your landlord, and what was said. Though I agree, it's more likely that a landlord would agree to completely break. It would agree to completely break. What the hell? Okay, let's try that again. Though I agree, it's more likely that a landlord would agree to completely break a lease than just let one person off of a joint lease, especially if you don't sign something agreeing to this. I could see a landlord agreeing to it in theory, based on a roommate finding someone to take over their portion of the lease and roommate ruining it, running with it. Here, let me drop this out. Roommate running with it, essentially going, this is someone else's problem. OP likely needs to speak with their landlord, start looking for a new roommate, and file against current roommate in small claims court for the unpaid rent and utilities. Alternatively, if there's no co-signers involved and roommates' parents are co-signers, I just reach out to them and give them the option of having their credit trashed or paying roommates half of the rent until you find a new roommate, with new co-signers to replace them on the lease. They are more likely to take this seriously. So, like I said, like these people on Reddit, and I'll just give it up to Reddit because they have smart people. More than likely, not more than likely, but quite possibly your roommate's a liar and the landlord ain't cool with this. They just said the landlord was cool with it. So yeah, you probably should go out to the landlord to double check that and make sure shit's sweet with them. I'm gonna click on this user's name and see if they commented anything. Let's see. I don't see anything. They're good commenters. They comment on a lot of people's stuff, but doesn't look like they comment on their own posts. So there you go. We'll let that one be for right now. Right. Let's do this one. It's a little longer. Am I the asshole for telling my colleague I hope he never finds a girlfriend? I, 25 female, work a minimum wage job in a childcare center. My colleague, 25 male, used to heavily flirt with me and be insistent, but told that told that I want him to stop the innuendos and seduction and treat me in a professional manner. He apologized and confessed that he was desperate to find a girlfriend. He is handsome, tall, and goes to the gym, but he is so childish and badly socialized. His only hobby is watching soccer. I see why he finds one night stands on Tinder, but no girlfriend. I became his confidant and guide, and I try to help him sometimes, but he constantly needs to be told what to do. At work, he's irresponsible, gets carried away playing with the kids. I try telling him what he does wrong, but he gets incredibly defensive and hurt even when I try to be considerate and soften the blow. He cuts me off with, I know, I'm such a bad person, and I can't do anything right. Ooh, what a terrible person. All right, I can tell you that. I hope you don't ever get a girlfriend either. His home is super messy and dirty. Why you been to his crib, dog? This feels weird. The cleanest is his PS5. He tells me all the time how he wishes he had a girlfriend, and I try to guide him to ways he could better himself to increase his chance. Many girls were interested, but every single one of them ran away. Recently, I got pissed off at him. A 10-year-old girl, he got her first period at the center and was confused and scared. I comforted her. He told her, no wonder you were angry today. Oh my fucking God. I told him off and he got super defensive, telling me I did nothing wrong, just told the truth. It's just a fact. I was so sad for this poor little girl. We were supposed to empower, protect, and guide children. He also joked at work about having an oopsie when his girlfriend got pregnant and had to terminate. He wasn't at all present because it's her body, not mine. Well, you said he doesn't have a girlfriend. So what the hell is going on here? I asked if he wore protection ever. He said he never does because it feels good and all women are on the pill anyway. I gotta say, now that as I read this a little further, it gets a little long, and I notice how these mistakes keep happening with the English. I think this is just AI.
I was literally gonna say AI. Like, this story seems like bullshit.
Yeah. It just doesn't feel like an actual, and we've been reading about assholes for years. So I can, there's a certain, it gives away. Like I said, this is wildly lengthy, but I didn't know what I said. How I told the story made people think right away I have sex with him. I agree with boundaries are all kinds of bad, and that's my fault, but I'm not interested in him this way, and made it very, 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 very clear with him. We just got close as work friends, and I admittedly love helping and guiding, in parentheses, fixing people. That's why I do this job. But it was an asshole move to take him on as a project instead of putting down proper boundaries. You guys are right, and that is my cue to leave this sinking ship. I snapped before losing patience and started getting exhausted of the never-ending emotional labor, but was uselessly trying to push ahead. And for what? So yeah, I wouldn't lose much by putting a lot of distance and going back to being coworkers on a different team. Now I got promoted. Okay. Well, let's say all that's real and true and that actually happened. Cool. You're not the asshole for saying that because no, it's not an asshole thing to say per se, because this dude seems like a real shitty being, but also I don't believe this story anymore. So I don't know what to kind of do with that. So let's say in real life there was somebody like this and this behavior actually happened, then no, you wouldn't be an asshole for being, bro, you cannot have a woman because you are an asshole. There you go. That's how I'll word this. We'll leave this one alone. I'm sorry if this is AI. I try to be good about what I chose, and I thought that was an interesting one, but it's some bullshit. All right, this is the last one. Am I the asshole for saying my brother doesn't deserve the Nintendo Switch? The Switch 2. This might be a different Switch for all I know. I'm assuming Nintendo. Edit. I didn't realize that all my posts made it seem as though, this is how this started, as though I was expecting them to buy me the new Switch. I was just planning on buying it for myself. In regards to where's it? Okay. I'm going to start. His edit should be at the bottom. I hate when people, I think I've ever seen somebody put an edit at the top. So we're going to start off with, to start off, I live with my partner and their family. I call them my family. Therefore, I will be calling my partner's brother my brother. Okay. W, brother. So W is 10. When I moved in, I came with an OLED Switch. I let W use it as it was his own. I bought a clear case for the actual Switch itself, a screen protector, and a carry case. W took the case off the Switch despite being told to put it back on, and never uses the carry case when he takes it out of the house. Okay. Right then and there, you should have just taken it back from him and said, sorry, you can't use this anymore because you're not abiding. But that's just me. W has pulled the meshing off one of the bottom speakers, and hasn't said sorry about it. Smashed all parts of the screen protector, dropped it countless times on cement, and broken a Switch controller. Parents haven't said sorry or offered to fix, because this is something you probably should have taken care of immediately. So I get why. His birthday is coming up in 2 weeks. And they thought about getting him the Switch 2. I said it's not worth it for him because he doesn't need the fancy one. I said that I might get the Switch 2 and he could keep my old one for free. W's mom said, I thought you said it's a waste of money. And I said that yes, it's not worth it for him because he won't be using it for anything other than watching YouTube anyway. And fact, you can't watch YouTube on the new Switch. YouTube doesn't work on it. Trust me, I know. I also said, besides, I don't really think it's fair that he would get a brand new Switch and I will be left with mine that he smashed, broken, and pulled apart. W's mom wasn't happy with what I said. She replied, well, he would be getting it for a special occasion. I said, so I'd still be stuck with the one he damaged? She replied, how about nobody gets one? And slammed the door behind her. Facts. So am I the asshole? I genuinely feel like it's not fair for him to get a brand new one when mine was perfect before he started using it, and he's the one that's broken it. I think I need a second opinion. And then we're going to jump up to the edit. I didn't realize spelled with an S, and he keeps saying mom, so I'm going to say this person is English at all, that my post made it seem as though I was expecting them to buy me the new Switch. I don't think that's what I took from that at all. Did you take that from that?
No, it made it seem like the kid wants one. The parents were thinking about getting him one. The boyfriend, wanted to buy himself one, and he was in a roundabout way telling the parents that the child's not ready for the responsibility of an expensive new item, but he didn't just come out and say it. So, yeah.
I was just planning on buying it for myself. In regards to letting him keep using it after the damage, I didn't take it away because my partner's parents treat the Switch as if it's his. Again, no. What the fuck
this whole situation, like, you don't owe that kid shit. This kid clearly isn't responsible enough to take care of things yet because he's 10 and no one's teaching him any better.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you're having this conversation with the parents anyway. If they want to buy him a Switch too, that's their fucking money and their prerogative. Let them waste their money on something he can destroy. You're not buying it for him, so what do you care? Why are you living there anyway? Like, there's a lot of shit here that I just don't understand why we're even in this situation.
For sure. Because my parents treat the Switch as if it is his. They punish him by taking it away from him when he does something wrong. And they've gotten upset with me in the past for hiding it, taking it away from him, or saying he couldn't use it because it's mine. Essentially, they see it as the family Switch. If I say I can use it when I want, it's mine, they'll get angry because W wants to use it. Okay. So the box is 1,000% accurate off that. That kid is poorly raised, and you probably shouldn't be living there. Yeah. I mean, I get it, but what if it's free rent? What?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know how old they are and where they're at, and if they're in college or I don't know. But it just seems like more of a hassle than it may be worth. But who knows? Free rent, you put up with a lot of shit, I suppose.
Yeah. You let a 10-year-old use your Switch as if it was his own. So that's what he did. That was nice of you, but the end result is on you. The parents want to buy him a Switch too? That's their prerogative and has nothing to do with him using your Switch, which was your decision. The idea of them buying you a Switch too as some sort of compensation is outrageous. By your own accord, by your own console. Again, there's nothing in there that made me think this person wanted them to buy him a Switch. That's weird. You're weird and can't read. So that's what I'm saying about that. You're the asshole. You knowingly gave your Switch to to a destructive child. You knew he was destructive because you looked it up. You hooked it up, loaded it up with protective equipment before letting him touch it. If an apology was necessary after he first broke a speaker, take it away for fuck's sake. You're the one letting him have access plus face zero consequences for breaking it. You're basically encouraging and enabling the destruction. You don't get a free upgrade. Again, this story does not, nothing in that story makes me think he wanted a free upgrade. Y'all can't read. This is one person. This is Reddit thinks the person is an asshole. This is the only person that says not the asshole. So let's take it out. Not the asshole. If you explicitly told W not to take things off and he did anyway, that's just straight up disrespectful. However, I think I would have done more in the first instance it happened rather than just letting him continue to destroy your Switch, such as taking it back or having a conversation with the parents. Not sure if you did already. Another thing to add, you're allowed to have an opinion and express that they shouldn't buy the Switch too, but at the same time, I'd let them. And if it gets destroyed, that's on them. If he wants to waste money, then let them. And also get yourself one. And also get yourself one girl and don't let that little brat touch it. Get yourself one girl. Get yourself one girl. Maybe is this a girl? I don't see anything about that, but sure thing. You seem to think this person's a girl. Get yourself one girl and don't let that little brat touch it. He'll be crying when his new one is broken, and you'll be sat happy. LOL. Thanks for the reply. Updated in post. Thanks for the reply. Update is posted in the comments. Oh, there's an update. Oh shit! Let me click on this person's name, and let's see if I can find this update that he claims. Updates in the comments. Sir, I'm in the comments. I don't see it. Quit saying there's updates in the comments, and I don't see the update. Honestly, the responses I've received have been pretty eye-opening. First of all, I'm not a freeloader. I'm a fully self-funded. I just had abusive parents that I left to move in with my partner, and I'm 20. Okay, now we know that. Secondly, these comments honestly made me realize that I shouldn't have let him use it from the beginning. Facts. It really was my mistake for trusting a 10-year-old. I thought I was coming from a good place, suggesting that he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. But truly, if they want to get it for him, so what? I don't know why I held so much to it. I don't even need the new Switch. I just wanted it. I think I just wanted my own Switch back. Should I suggest that they get the Switch 2 for him? If he did get it, I would be putting in. How would you be putting in for the gift? My partner's family and I are very close, and I do buy for each of their birthdays.
They don't sound very close.
I know he would enjoy having something new, and genuinely would be happy to have mine back. I can fix it up and use it when I want. I guess there's no point in dropping $700 on something when what country do you live in? Wait a minute. $700. He lives in Australia. Because I know how much the Switch 2 costs in Australia, which is weird, but I do. I guess there's no point in dropping $700 on something when I've got one that works fine as it is. Thanks for the hard truth, everyone. I needed it. I guess that solved itself, sort of. Jesus H. Christ. What a weird. We only had one good one this week, y'all. And I'm sorry about that. Because a colleague not finding a girlfriend probably is AI, and this Switch one was dumb. So, and the other one seemed to be just fine. So we'll ride out with that one. But that is what it is, people. Watching, reading, playing anything?
I finished The Righteous Gemstones last week, and then I moved over to Project Prodigal Son, which is a old show from like 6 years ago. It only went like a season and a half, so I'm like 10 episodes in or something so far. I'm going to see 28 Years Later on Sunday with my family, which means that I need to watch 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later to understand what the hell I'm watching, because I've never seen them.
I was just about to ask, had you seen the prequels, I guess, whatever? Yeah. The original movies, but no, you have not.
Yeah, that's it. I'm been playing Call of Duty and whatever, which I'm actually late for right now, but we'll get there. Sorry.
How did we manage that? It's like we were really on point. All right. I'm playing Mario Kart World and I started The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. I don't know what took me so long to play that. I've had it since it came out, but I never actually threw it in the Switch, and I finally started it. It's great. It's a fun ass Zelda game so far. I'm really having a good time because you actually play as Zelda. It's a really good time. I went through all of that Christopher Moore book I told you about, Animal Rising. Great book. Ended up being a real fantastic book. So I had a real good time with that. I hadn't been watching anything. I've literally just been either playing Switch, or I've been listening to my book or doing show stuff. So that's basically just where I've been at, and my actual job. So that's where I've been at. Otherwise, that is it. Let's put a wrap on this. Housekeeping. Please do solid. Tune in every Thursdays. That's normally when we post shows. And we also normally record around 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a holiday today, so we did it a little early. You can typically join us over in the chat on Twitch and YouTube. And Box didn't even know that. It's crazy. I read this to him.
I usually tune out about this point. At this point.
It just happened to be a fun time to just like that. Make sure you like and comment on YouTube, and please rate, review, subscribe, and share the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you want to support the show financially, got a few bucks tossed away, consider joining us on Patreon. Remember, the $5 tier, get extra content, and early access to new shows. If I'm off 1 week here, I'm trying to make sure patrons have the show. If you want to always have a show, you might want to get down to Patreon. You also have merch over at tpublic.com/user-space-milk, all one word. Feel free to give us a call, 216-264-6311. That's 216-264-6311. We'd certainly love to hear from you and hear from you we have. Here right quick to this email. from the homie Moxford Lebinsky, Esquire, PhD. Salutations, gentlemen and ladies, Nick G, T's mom and sister. It's been a while since I've written in. It was good hearing Ant on one of the more recent episodes. Sounds like the family is doing well. T, I really enjoyed the episode with your family. Can you set up Gabe and Delvin to do an episode of the Delvin Cox Experience? Gabe's lifestyle is interesting, and it'd be awesome to hear an in-depth look. I will do my part for that. Congratulations to your child on graduating. It's one of those last steps in adulthood. Bittersweet for parents. Lastly, really like the little edits to the show, the added music, the intro songs to segments. I appreciate the production. It does not go unnoticed. Thank you so much for that. Box, the intro to Storytime with Lunchbox always makes me chuckle. I enjoy hearing about the kittens. I also run into the same issues with collectibles. Do I need this? Is it worth the money? Things that are supposed to be enjoyable become a hassle. Good to hear your lifestyle change is going well. I wish you continued success. Thank you for doing what you do with the show. I enjoy it. You've earned a long-time listener. Boxford, thank you so very much, good sir, for listening and for taking time to write in and tell us that you fuck with us. But that was the show for the week, y'all. Our missing man is the 216, own Tatum 216. He will be back when he is back. Worry not. There's stuff being worked on, and hopefully that'll be sooner than later. That is Lunchbox 2099, who's going to go shoot some people up in Call of Duty.
Goddamn right.
So you respect it, okay? I am, of course, the internet. Terror 713. Don't make me push you in the traffic. We'll do this again next time. Peace.
What happened to your ass? It used to be beautiful.
Stays crunchy and milk.